Alright, so I guess this is going to be a tutorial for the first column of N. And I just want to start off by showing the version of the game I use and stuff, which is a bit different from the vanilla version. So what I use is a mod called NReality, and that just gives me a few extra plugins and stuff. It doesn't affect the actual gameplay or anything, but it does give you some handy features. And if you want to get this version of the game, just Google NReality. It's the first thing. And this is the download link right here. And if you want to get the actual vanilla version of the game, you can just Google N version history. And the first link here will take you to the version history. And we play on 1.4. 2.0 is a completely different game that has different levels and a different physics engine. So that's not what this tutorial is going to be about. This 1.4 will give you the vanilla version of the game. And once you download it, you can have this. And getting set up is pretty easy. You just run the thing in the folder and it'll open the game up for you. And there's nothing you really need to configure. You can set, if you have NReality, this is part of what the mod will do for you. You can have a speedrun mode, which will let you record IL times in a speedrun high score, rather than in a score high score where you have to get the gold and stuff. So that's nice. And you can rebind your keys in here. I like to use Z for jump. And you should also bind your kill key to something convenient, because, ideally you won't use it, but if you do need to use it, it should be something you can press pretty quickly, just to reset a level. And then left and right, pretty straightforward. You can make a high score account, whatever. And this category that I'm going to be doing the tutorial on is the first column of levels here. So you can see there's 10 episodes, each episode has 5 levels. So you have 50 levels total in this, and to do this category you just click on the 0, that's the episode we start on, is 0, and then you play from here until you get back to the main menu, so that'll take you through all of these episodes. I think that's pretty much all you need to say about setup. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll talk a little bit about the actual mechanics of the game before I go into each level in detail. And I think Dinosaur, who also made a tutorial, he made a tutorial for the second column, which is column 10, starts with episode 10. He explained a bit of this stuff, and I'll link his tutorial in my description for this video once I highlight it. That's useful and worth watching too, and obviously if you want to get into the second column, check that out. But I'm just going to re-explain some stuff, because why not? Might as well be thorough. So there's a lot of stuff in this game that is pretty broken with respect to movement. As you can see, the movement in this game is really momentum based. It's not easy to turn around quickly. The controls are pretty loose and stuff. And that can be actually to our advantage. So the fact that it's momentum based means we can sort of abuse a lot of things. And let's see, what do I want to start out with talking about? I guess the first thing that's kind of important is you can do infinite wall jumps up walls. A lot of games don't necessarily have that. But in this one you can just climb straight up walls, and that's obviously useful in a few places. And whenever you're doing that, whenever you're climbing up walls, if you want to do it efficiently, you want to be holding down jump for the entire arc of your climb. So you can see that I'm holding it down. If you look on the right side, I have my keys input displayed, and also you can see it in game. But yeah, you want to be holding it down the entire way, and you want to be jumping as soon as you hit the wall, and that'll get you a lot of speed. And that's kind of the best way to go up walls. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. If you're in a chimney, you can jump back and forth between the two parts, and that's much faster than jumping up just one side. Let me see if I can find a level to show that. Let's try this one. So in this one, you want to jump back and forth on each side, and you can see that's much faster. And if the chimney is 3 blocks wide, or 3 tiles wide, or smaller, then you want to be going back and forth. And if it's any larger than that, then just jump up one side of it. There's also fall damage in this game, but you can avoid it in a lot of ways. It's about half the height of the map, so if I fall from right about here, I should probably die. But if I fall from much lower, it's no fall damage. And actually you can avoid fall damage on hitting slopes, so I'll show that too. And pretty much anything that's curved or slanted in any way will negate your fall damage. So like if I fall from all the way up here, I can just land on this curved part and be fine. That's pretty useful in a few places. And you can also use sharp corners to do that, but it's much harder because you have to hit sort of right on the edge of the corner. And slopes in general end up being pretty broken. So like if I just stand right here and jump up to this height, you can see I don't jump all that high. But if I do it off of a slope, I jump a lot higher. And you can jump either like off of slopes, kind of like away from them, normal to the slope, or I guess perpendicular to it. Or you can jump along the slope, like there I jumped along it. And if you jump along a slope, you'll get a big like speed boost to the side, kinda. So like if I jump right here and then jump again, you can see I go pretty fast to the right. Or you can jump away from the slope like this. And to jump away from it, you just press backwards along the slope before you jump. So I press backwards and then jump. And you want to do them pretty much simultaneously to get maximum height and speed. So yeah, boosting on slopes is pretty important, and you can also do it on anything that's slanted. Basically anything that's curved or slanted will act like a slope. It's just a bit more precise to do it on things that are curved. So that's pretty much all there is to say about slopes. We also have trampolines, or I guess launch pads, and those will give you a height boost. And if you jump on a wall right after you get a boost from a trampoline, it actually gives you like a supercharged wall jump like that, which is a whole heck of a lot of height. That's pretty useful. And then bouncy blocks are also pretty broken. So you can see if I'm on a bouncy block and I just like jump up, it's pretty normal. Let me find one where there's not stuff in the way. I'll load a different level. Here we go. So yeah, if I just jump on a block, you see it doesn't give me that much height. But if I jump while it's kind of in its momentum coming back up, I get a lot more height. And actually you can double jump off of them as well, and that'll give you an even bigger boost. So like there you can see I got a double jump. That's useful in a few places. The double jump timing is kind of difficult to get used to. It's like not immediate. You kind of want to wait a couple frames so that the block can come back up under you, because obviously you have to be touching it again to get the second jump. But it's not too hard once you practice it. You can also do a double jump off the side of a bouncy block, which is cool. It's not terribly useful, but maybe if you're doing some weird backup strat somewhere or something, you could use it. Try and show it off. Whoops. Like there, I got a double jump off the side, and that'll give you much more speed to the left or to the right, depending which side you do it on. As far as the engine goes, I think the only other thing I have to talk about is one-way platforms. See if I can find a level with those. Okay, yeah, so one-way platforms, you go through them one way, they're pretty straightforward. Wall jumping on them is really weird though, because if I'm just like against a wall like this, and I jump, and like I'm not going to press left at all, but I can still jump off the wall to my left. If I do that next to a one-way wall, you can see it doesn't give me the jump. I have to actually press into the wall to get the jump. So that can throw you off sometimes, because like you think you should jump off it, but you actually have to be pressing into the wall to get the jump off of it. That's something to be aware of. And you can actually clip through one-way ceilings. That's used in a few places. I'll show one of them off, I guess. Basically, all you have to do is wall jump while you're in the top corner of a one-way ceiling. So like right here, I should be trapped in this box, but I can actually just jump out if I jump right at the top. Yeah, that's pretty easy. It's not very hard. That's like the one glitch that's actually used in the game. And I think that covers just about everything as far as the mechanics go. So I'll go into each level and show my route for it. First level is pretty straightforward. You just want to get a boost off of that trampoline, hit it, and wall jump right away. And then go up here and get your switch and go to the door. And then you kind of want to fall past that one-way platform without hitting it. If you hit it, it's just a little bit slower because you have to fall down off of it. But you can kind of rotate around this corner and fall down. Just a small thing. The second level is one of the points where you end up resetting a lot. because there's a skip on it that saves about 10 seconds. So I just want to jump up to that block there, double jump off of it. And then if you come up here and hit that switch normally, you can see it closes off your access to this exit door. But you can actually just open the exit door if you hit the switch really precisely, because there's actually two switches there. And one of them is like a couple pixels bigger than the other one. So you can do that. And the way I like to do that is kind of jumping up in that corner off of the block once and then off of the wall once and falling down. Like that. You can also do it slightly more easily by doing a double jump off of there, jump off of that, and then just hold jump right there. And it won't work all the time. You have to have kind of precise positioning for it. But if you hold jump right before you start your sliding animation on the wall, you can actually hit the switch. I'm not very good at this setup because it's not the one that I normally do. There you go, like that. So that works too. And if you get that first try, like I said, it saves about 10 seconds. And it's only 10 seconds into the run, so you might as well reset until you get it. Unless you're like really, really inconsistent. But yeah, this is one of the sort of difficult tricks in the beginning. Just like that, you want to do it. Pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. This level is easy if you do it the easy way. I'll show the easy way first, just because it's what you should be doing at first. Unless your PB is like sub 20 minutes, you really should just do the route that I'm showing right now. So yeah, you want to jump from that platform right here and just hold jump all the way until you hit this thing in the center and start sliding on it. And then hold jump again until you get to this platform. And then here you just walk right off and get to the door. Thanks, Ari. Hi, Junkie. And something important to note is when you're going to this door, if you start right here and just hold right, you can actually bump your head on this little corner right here, and it'll send you down slightly faster than your falling speed and kill you to fall damage. So you kind of want to let go of holding right while you're in the air here so that you don't hit that corner. You just want to land on the edge of this platform. So that's the easy way to do this level. You can also do this strat, which if I get the first try, I'd be surprised. These wall jumps are really precise. You have about a 2-frame window on each of them to like keep enough momentum to get all the way up. But doing these wall jumps saves like about 5 seconds if you do them really well. And that was pretty good. And then if you do that, then obviously you can't jump to the thing in the center, so you just jump to the other side like that, and then get in there. Yeah, that's a really precise strat that is nice if you can do it, but it also sucks because you'll probably die a lot and reset. So I wouldn't recommend going for that at first. And then things calm down pretty much for the next few episodes. This level is pretty easy. Just wall jump once on the wall after you hit the trampoline, and once when you get in the chimney. Go to the end door. This level's pretty easy too. Just climb some stairs. Sometimes the stairs will troll you a little bit. If you hit the corners of them, they'll kind of bounce you off. So be aware of that. But not too difficult. And that's the first 5 levels. Now we're on to the next episode. This level, you just want to avoid the drones. Jump off of that slope there and go right under that guy. Get to the trampoline. Wall jump up here. Wait a second right there so that guy chases you. And then come this way and let him chase you again. And then ideally jump off of that slope there, right above the trampoline. And that'll get you to the exit. These guys that target you, the ones with the antennae, are kind of interesting in that they'll target you, like obviously if they're sort of in line with the row or column of tiles you're in, they'll chase you. And there are some ways you can actually avoid having them be able to see you, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, I guess. It's not really important here, and it comes up very little, but the way that enemies target you is kind of based on your position within each tile. So like if you're on a sort of seam between tiles, then they'll wait to target you until you're fully within a tile, and it depends on how you're moving as well. It's really like not consistent and not easy to deal with. Thankfully none of the routes really rely on it, so it's not something you have to worry about a lot. but just something to be aware of. Yeah, that's that level. Whoops. This level is pretty easy too. Just wall jump up the left side. Unlike that. Get to the switch. You want to slide on this wall for a second right there to avoid fall damage. Jump to that bouncy block. Go to the end. This level you want to jump off that bouncy block there and then fall onto that slope to avoid fall damage. And come over to this trampoline as quick as you can. And ideally if you're fast you boost over that drone there. But if you're slow, which I'll show, you can go under it as well, which is fine. It's just a second slower. It's like I was slow there, so I'm gonna have to go under. Like that. That's pretty much the only two things that can happen on that level. This level you just collect some switches. There are a lot of different ways to do it. I like to go this particular route. Just climb up and fall back down. If you go up through the top all the way, you can come down onto these switches that I'm getting right now, but it's not really faster, and it's slightly harder, so I don't go for it. On that right side, you want to wall jump to reverse your momentum quickly. And yeah, that's that level. This level is slightly difficult. You want to be holding left as the level loads, so you press spacebar while holding left. If you don't do that, then that drone at the top will follow you, which is not good. So yeah, just be holding left and then do some wall jumps here. Go left, and then 2 on the right. And then we get this switch and fall down onto this curved bit here to avoid fall damage. And then we only need 2 of these trampolines. You want to hit the bottom left of that trampoline at the top. Oops. And the reason you want to hit the bottom left is if you hit kind of the top part of it, it can bounce you into the ceiling, which is not good because sometimes you won't get enough height out of that. And yeah, if you don't want to fall into this slope here, you can just jump back to the right side and fall down the wall. It's not that much slower. And then here you want to wall jump from right about there. And you want to get out of here before that drone. And then climb up the stairs. These stairs can be really annoying to climb, just because of these curved bits that'll bounce you around. That was pretty slow, but you get the idea. Next level has a few interesting ways you can do it. I'll show the fastest one first, I guess. This way requires you to have like really good management of your momentum while wall jumping, I guess. Because what we're going to do is jump off of this block here and then wall jump up the side of this tower. And to jump on these flat sections here, it's pretty precise because if you hold down jump all the way up, then you'll kind of go over each level, and then you can't actually continue your wall jump chain, which is not good. So you want to be pretty precise about how much momentum you have going up this. But if you are precise, then the route is really nice, because you can just jump up and grab that switch right away and go right to the end. But yeah, that's kind of the difficult way to do it. If you want to go slightly slower, but more consistent, you can do like a double jump off of there, and then just climb up the tower, easy peasy. That's a little bit annoying because these drones are actually like in a place they can target you by the time you get to the top. If you get a really good double jump, you can actually go much higher. You can actually wall jump right there where I was landing. That's kind of difficult though. Yeah, something like that is not too difficult. Yeah, I mean, I recommend trying the wall jumps out the outside, but just jump off the bouncy block if that's too difficult. This level is pretty straightforward. Don't go too fast at the beginning, or else you die at the top like that. You can die to fall damage on the ceiling as well. Whoops, I did it again. So yeah, you want to go fast, but not too fast. And then we just fall down this side. Jump up here. And then get the exit switch. And leave. This next level also pretty easy. Just wait for that guy to come down. And jump up this chimney. You want to wall jump to the left out of the top of the chimney if you can. And then fall into this chimney. Just because having momentum coming into the top of it is a little bit faster. Those are just two really minor things there. Hay papers. Yeah, so that's that level, it's easy. This level has an interesting trick on it. We're gonna get that switch in the top left first, and then the switch in the bottom right. And coming out of here, we have to dodge that laser, which I just failed to do. Dodging the laser is a kind of tight timing, because you want to be jumping as your momentum reverses. So like you can see I'm holding right, and then I jump. And obviously I jumped in the wrong place there. But yeah, doing this route where we get the one in the bottom right first actually saves like 2 or 3 seconds, so it's pretty worth it to do if you can dodge the laser, which is not a difficult timing to get used to. Right now I'm really rusty at it, obviously. Like that. And then we just get that one. Come down here. You want to jump right when you get to the bottom of the slope, and watch out for those drones. The alternate route is pretty much what you'd expect. It's just you get a switch in the top right first. And you can see it's slower because I have to wait for those drones there. But whatever you're comfortable with. This next level, casually, it's really hard to have a lot of time here to like beat this level in time, but if you're doing a speedrun, you should have plenty. We're going to end up getting pretty much all the switches, and the only thing that's really important on this level is just minor movement optimizations. So stuff like jumping into chimneys so that you can fall down them quicker, or like right there when I got that switch I wall jumped off the right side to turn around faster. Same thing right there. But yeah, this order that I'm getting the switches in is pretty much the fastest way to do it. Not a whole lot to say about it. And there I missed the wall jump off the left side. And grab the switch and leave. Cool, cool. This level we only need 2 switches. One of them is in the top left here. Once you get that, you want to kind of jump down between those. And ideally you don't hit that bouncy block I just hit. You can just jump over it. Then we get that switch, jump out here. I actually messed that up, so I'm just going to restart. The other thing I should explain, that I forgot to explain when I was talking about like just the movement in this game in general, is whenever you have a kind of curved or sloped thing in like a corner like this, a bottom corner, if you run into it and press jump at like the correct time, you can get a big boost up the wall. And actually you double tap jump, so you jump kind of once off the slope and then once off the wall. And it's a little bit similar to like whenever you do a trampoline or launch pad boost into a wall jump, like we did on the first level. You basically just want to get a jump off the slope and then a jump off the wall as well, and that'll give you a bunch of speed upwards. So you kind of tap and then hold. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the beginning of this level to get all that speed. You can probably hear it through the mic. Okay, so that's better. You want to jump right. Oops, I messed that up. Had to do back up double jump off that block. Ideally what you do is you jump from this little curved bit here, and then you do like a wall jump off of this almost flat round part here, up to this block, and then into the exit door. I'll try and show that off just to be explicit about what I mean. So like when I'm right here, I jump to that bit and then up like that. So that's ideally how you exit the level. This level, it's not too hard. Just jump there, jump on up here. You want to jump on the left side of this trampoline so that you can get to that switch. Otherwise you end up on the right side of this one-way wall, and then you're stuck, which is not good. So you get those switches, jump up this way, fall down here. Easy peasy. This level slopes come into play a lot. I'm gonna get that switch first, and then fall down onto this slope, and when I'm kind of low on it, I was a bit too low there, you want to boost onto this slope, wait for the crosshair to disappear from that turret, and then jump up to the switch by holding right and jump. I'll show that one more time. So you just wall jump off that, wall jump again, grab that switch, fall down here onto that, wait for the crosshair to disappear, and then jump up to this place. And then fall down this way, make sure you fall onto that kind of shallow slope there, and that'll avoid fall damage. And then just exit. This level, you gotta deal with a lot of drones. The cycles on these drones, sometimes they'll follow you in certain places, sometimes they won't. Like I said earlier, it depends a little bit on where you are within tiles. So that guy who just chased me there sometimes doesn't chase me at all. This time he did. It doesn't really matter that much. The only thing that matters as far as the cycles go, that's kind of a big deal, is getting up here fast enough to jump in front of that guy and get to that switch early. That's the optimal way to do that. But then coming back inside, usually the cycles will not get in your way a whole lot. You just have to be careful and be aware where the drones are. That's a level that's good to practice to get used to kind of the different scenarios as far as drones following you, because it will be different each time. There are kind of a few different patterns that can happen, and you just have to get used to dealing with each of them. This level's pretty easy. Just get the two switches, and then we're going to go up the right side. Ideally you make it up there in 3 wall jumps. And then you kind of want to jump into that rocket, under it, and then juke it like that. That's a pretty easy dodge to do. I think you can also not jump into it and still be able to dodge it. I'll try that. So you can see my wall jumps were better that time because I didn't hit the corner. So yeah, you can also just kind of hold right. It's just a little bit more difficult to control your momentum that way. And those are bad wall jumps. This level is pretty easy, just some minor movement stuff. You want to wall jump out of that chimney there to the right. And then here, if you can avoid hitting your head, which I hit my head, so I have to do some extra wall jumps. Whoops. If you can avoid hitting your head, you can get up to that switch in just 1 wall jump, which is nice. I'll try and show that off. Yeah, it's precise because you have to kind of wall jump right off of this corner here, which is the other part that makes it difficult. But basically you're boosting off of the slope to get some extra momentum, and then transferring that momentum upwards. Just like that. So you can get up there pretty quick and easy. I'm making a tutorial because Dinosaur and Nightfirecat told me there were some things that I did in Column 0 that they didn't know how to do, and they were curious. And just because. This level is the first place where the route is actually difficult for the level, I think. Or it has a really specifically difficult trick to it. So at the beginning there, we have to have good movement through the first 20 seconds of this. Otherwise we're not going to make a cycle on this drone at the bottom. And the cycle is to be able to do that jump into there, which is stupidly precise. But it saves a whole bunch of time. So yeah, if you miss any of the jumps I just did there, or anything before that last jump, you basically have to wait a cycle, which is really slow. There I bumped on that corner. You can have minor stuff like that happen, and it's not too big a deal. You can see I'm still probably gonna make it. Yeah, he targeted me, but I barely made it. So that's that route. It's really cool if you learn it. It saves like 5 seconds over the other route, maybe even more, maybe like 10. I'll show the other route now just because it's much more new player friendly. So what you want to do is, actually, what is even the route for this? I guess you can go under here like that, and then you have to wait for this guy here, which is part of what makes it slow. And you can kind of sneak that switch and get in there. I guess you could also, instead of going under these blocks here, you could go over the top. I don't really know which is optimal because I don't do that route. Just whatever suits your fancy. This level also has a pretty cool trick. I'll show the easy route for this one first, because the easy route is not all that much slower. You can just run up and get that switch, come over to this side, jump up this chimney, and go to the exit. If you want to go super duper fast, you can grab that switch there and jump into the middle. Obviously I messed that up. Whoops. And this jump into the middle is kind of weird because you have to slow down and then speed back up enough to get to the other side. And the speeding back up part is a bit difficult because you're doing it in the air. Okay, yeah, so that's what you want to do, is hit that wall and jump up. And if you don't slow down in the middle, then what happens is you can actually hit this thwomp here that's coming down. And if you hit that guy, then obviously he just completely stops you and you fall all the way down and die, which is not good. So yeah, that route's pretty cool. That jump across the top is worth learning, I think. It's not too difficult, it's just kind of unintuitive. This level is very easy and very long and very tedious. The only thing that's important when we're going to the inside to get this switch is how we lure the drones. Because obviously we have to come back out, so I want to know like where they are when I'm coming back out. I want them to be in a consistent place. And you can be really slow going into the center, because there's a certain cycle that you can't get any faster than. So like right there I was really slow and fell down, but I'm still fine for making that cycle. You basically just have to wait for that drone to come out. And then get in here and get the switch. But yeah, since you can afford to be so slow, what you should do with your extra time is make sure that you have like positioned the drones well for your exit, because you can have them follow you into certain patterns. And I actually had them follow me into a pattern I'm not used to this time, because I messed up one of my jumps. But I think it's fine. So like this guy here, if you're really fast coming out, you can actually just start wall jumping up the left side right away. There I was kind of slow, so I just waited at the bottom. It's really risky to do that, because if you die you lose like 30 seconds. So yeah, I usually just wait right down there for him to come around the corner. And then go to the exit, pretty easy. This level is another one where it's fairly difficult. It's one of the first sort of hard levels in my opinion. You want to wall jump right up there and get that switch immediately. And then fall down here and jump off that slope into this area. You have to kind of wait a second for those drones. But then if you... I'll pause and show you. If you hit this corner right here and then hold right until you hit this wall, but not long enough to slide on this wall, like you don't grab this wall at all, you just kind of hit it, and then let go of all your keys, you'll fall right between this bomb and this platform here. And you'll land right down here, and you can kind of curve around and slope jump backwards this way over to this switch. That's the optimal way to do it. Yeah, I'm just using no board right now. And then this thing in game is a built-in thing through the mod that lets me show inputs. So I have left and right and jump. So yeah, you want to fall between that, hit there, and jump over there. And then we get the switch and leave. These jumps in through here can be a bit difficult. I'm not doing them super optimally right now, but you'll get a feel for it eventually. These jumps at the beginning of the level are pretty precise too. like right there. If you don't get exactly the right amount of momentum, you can actually just hit this part and fall back down. So if you're bad at that, you can also just jump up to this flat part and then jump up. And that's fine, because the cycle for these drones on the right, you have to wait a little bit for anyways. Yeah, there you just let yourself fall into the wall. Like you could see I wasn't pressing any keys or anything. And there, that's kind of what you want to do with these jumps, is jump off the top of those rounded bits. Cool. This level is actually pretty easy once you practice it a lot. Even though it's really, really long and seems really, really hard. The cycles on the drones aren't super consistent, but you'll get mostly the same pattern. And the patterns you get don't differ very much from each other. It just, sometimes you'll be forced to wait, and sometimes you won't. Actually just messed something up, so I'm gonna go back. What you want to do here, something I didn't mention, is if you hold down the jump key, you can actually kind of hover, even if you hit a ceiling. So like right here, you can see I hover for a few extra seconds, or a few half seconds, I guess. And you can use that to your advantage here by just holding it and sort of hovering over this bomb. And then you fall right directly onto this sloped bit here, and you can jump immediately to the right. So that's an optimal way to do that. You just want to start holding jump right at the end of that tunnel, like that. Then we jump up here. So that's pretty easy. We just collect the switches on the way in, because you need them all to get to the exit switch. Here I like to wait for this drone to follow me and just jump over him. The only thing that matters as far as this cycle is making it under that, pause real quick, is making it under this part right here before this drone gets there. I got a good cycle this time because he was like way up here when I was running under that bit. Sometimes he can be a little bit faster and be like in this corner, but as long as you're quick leaving this center area, you can always get under him. And then this right side, the wall jumps here. If you're playing casually, it's pretty difficult to get like up around these bombs. But if you just jump up the right side and have good timing on your jumps, you can get up there pretty easy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really need to explain about that. I guess optimally you jump once off this wall here, once off this left part here, and then you just wall jump there, there, and there. And that'll get you right up into this chimney. Or you can do something like that. Just like be careful that you're not going to hit a drone on the way up. That time I was slow because I was explaining things. I'll just play through it one more time to show the route. Oops. Oh, I didn't hold jump. My bad. So yeah, holding jump there is obviously important and required. And you pretty much want to hold it down for as long as you can. Tried to cut it a little too close there. Oh, I missed a switch. I'm actually dumb. What a terrible tutorial. I was too focused on my jump hovering business. So yeah, like that is why you want to do it. And then just jump right up here. You don't want to jump over this drone who follows you from the right too early, otherwise the one below you will actually target you, which is not good. And then here I'm going to wait a second because this drone at the top is in my way. Now he's not in my way, so I can get up there. So yeah, that's pretty much how you want to do it. And then get in the doorway. Cool, easy peasy. This level is really annoying because at the beginning you have these half blocks that are really difficult to jump off of. But what we actually do is, if you just get to the other side and run into this corner right away, this guy on the right will stop targeting you and his crosshair disappears. And then if you jump right back out, you get out before this thwomp hits you, and you can actually walk right onto it and get up really quick. So I'll try and show that. If you can, you should jump off of these half blocks. See how we jump in, jump back out, and then just get on top of it and come up this way. This part right here, the pause menu is actually kind of in the way, but you can see there's a turret right there. And what we want to do is we want to jump here, here, and then like jump off of the flat top part of this half block wide thing and jump all the way over to this side. And you can't actually really make it all the way over, but you can make it onto this wall and then wall jump up. That's just kind of the fast strat, and I just messed it up. I'll try and show it again. It's difficult because once you're jumping to the right here, you want to let go of your holding right key as you're like flying in your arc right here, so you can actually hit the top part, and then you jump like that. Yeah, cool. And then here we just jump up. There's also a fast strat here where you jump up to this switch, fall down onto this flat part, and jump through this turret. It's really risky because the turret can just straight up shoot you if you're not fast enough and don't have the right movement pattern. I'll try and show it once. Okay, I missed my jump there. The backup strat is just to go under like I did, which is honestly the easier, more consistent way, and not very much slower. It's like half a second or something. Yeah, if you want to try it, you can just kind of walk off of this platform onto this one and jump through the turret, but you have to be really quick about it. This next level is one of the few places we use the ceiling clipping glitch, so just kind of jump in there and jump back out. You have to jump once to get kind of onto the wall, this right side wall, and then once to jump out and over to clip through the ceiling. And then once you do that, I actually got the fast strat for getting to the door. What you can do is jump over onto the right side of this launch pad here and boost up into this sloped part of the ceiling, and that'll bounce you over into the door. That's pretty precise to get, actually. It's a lot harder than it seems. So you kind of have to jump over onto that, and then if you hit the top part like that, then it just bounces you back down, in which case you can jump off the wall over there. The easier way to do it, it's a little bit slower, is to jump out and then just run onto that one and bounce off that and come over. It's not a big difference, just some minor optimization stuff. This level is pretty easy. There are a couple cycles at the end that can be different. You want to grab that switch there first, and you want to grab it as fast as possible. Basically, you want to be as fast as possible throughout this entire level. And the reason for that is this cycle that I think I'm going to make right now, where you just run straight into the door before that drone hits you. I missed it that time. But that's obviously the fastest way to do it. See how I fall down there, jump up there, and I should make it this time. That's pretty fast. Yeah, so you can see I made it that time. If you don't make that cycle, you can just jump over the drone, which is not that much slower. So I'm going to pretend I didn't make it this time. If you're too scared to run into it, you just jump over the drone and fall in. Or if you're really, really slow, you actually have to wait for the drone to leave that room. This time I'm being pretty slow. I think I might still be able to make it, but I'll show the waiting strat as well. So yeah, if you miss that wall jump there, then you're gonna end up being probably not in time. So you just wait and then follow that drone into the room. Those are the three kind of ways you can do that. This level here has a strat at the beginning. There are a bunch of switches on this level. We only need this one right here, as well as the exit switch, which is on our way to the exit anyways. So we don't go down here or anything, we ignore all this area. And what we want to do is, this drone here, we need to lure him to the left, so that he doesn't come with us towards the right side, because we're going to be doing a certain jump where we need him to be out of the way. And the jump we're going to be doing is off of this part right here, this like corner of this platform over this mine right here. And you have about like a 3-frame window to get it, I guess. This game runs at 40 FPS for reference. So it's not too big of a window, but it's not like super imprecise either. It's pretty consistent if you practice it. And it saves the time of going into the center area and like luring this floor drone around, which is obviously slow. So I'll try and show it off. So we fall down there so he follows us, and then we jump right there to go over the mine. And then we just get the switch and pretty much leave the level. And then here you want to, whenever you jump off of this platform here, you want to hold jump so you go up into this corner. And then if you press jump while your head is touching the corner, or touching the ceiling, it'll boost you down out of the ceiling. And that's just a little bit faster than falling down. I'll try and show it. Apparently I can't do it. Now this drone's in my way. It's not a big time saver, and it's not a big deal. That's what happens if you miss the jump over the mine. Basically you need to be jumping right off the edge of that platform. You can't jump off of this part here because it's just a non-solid door that'll open if you go on top of it. So yeah, so yeah, fall down there, grab that wall, and then jump up here, and then right there I boosted out of the ceiling. And then we just jump to the exit. So yeah, this jump at the beginning is pretty precise and difficult, but I think it's worth doing. And if you fail it, it's only like 4 seconds lost because it's right at the beginning of the level. So might as well learn it, I think. Next level is pretty easy. There are a lot of different ways to do the movement on this level. I'm going to show the one that I've started doing recently. That's not ideal. What I want to do is jump off of this slope here. I want to jump, not touch anything until I hit this slope, jump kind of up and left, and then fall right through this gap onto this slope here to avoid fall damage. It's not like the super optimal way to do it, but it's pretty quick. And then you jump right as you hit that slope, and then just go to the exit. The optimal way to do this level, I'll show my ILPB I guess, is to kind of fall around this edge and do the same thing, or do a similar thing, but falling around this edge at that particular momentum is not easy, so I like to do the jump. If you don't like any of that, then improvising on this level is not all that much slower. You can just kind of go through casually, something like that. This level has a couple different ways to do it. I'll show the kind of easier slow one first. You want to wall jump on that wall at the right to get some momentum to the left, right around this area of the wall. You don't want to jump higher because then you die to fall damage, and you don't want to jump lower because that's slow. So we get this switch, and you just wait a little second there, and then go grab that exit switch in the middle, and then we leave. So that's kind of the slow route. It's not too difficult. The other route, which is the one that I do, is you jump from right there, and we're going to be going fast enough to get a certain lure on that drone right there. So this drone that's kind of going under me right now is one who would, if I was a little bit slower, he would actually follow me into where I am right now and kill me. So you have to be pretty quick on your movement at the beginning of the level in order to have him follow you at this particular row of tiles, and that's important obviously. And then what I want to do is come out and double jump off of that bouncy block. And that strat's a couple seconds faster. It's not too hard once you practice it a bit, but whichever is easier. This level is a bit annoying at first. We want that drone on the left to target us twice, and he did this time, because that'll put him in a position where we can jump up like that, and he'll actually have his shots blocked. And then we just go and grab that switch. If he targets you once, he's actually too far to the right to do that route. And there we just jump up and jump over him while he's shooting, and hold right, and you'll just kind of bounce off of this corner here and get into the exit door. Easy peasy. This level we're going to do a trampoline boost, or trampoline wall jump type of deal. So wall jump as soon as you hit the launch pad. Come up here, get that switch, jump over to this switch, and that's all you need. Pretty easy. Yeah, the only thing that's at all tricky is when you get up to this switch here, you want to wall jump, or you want to jump up here and then wall jump to the right. And you have to do that kind of quickly, otherwise this turret will snipe you. But it's not too hard. This level here, also pretty easy. You want to just wall jump around that thwomp there. You kind of have to tap left as you're doing it. Otherwise you will not go far enough around it. And then once you get to here under these thwomps, or a little bit to the left of them, you want to stop for a second so the rocket is a little bit closer to you, and then hit this trampoline and just hold right and go over this way. If you don't wait, then the rocket will hit you as you're hitting this trampoline, or while you're in the air afterwards. So pausing there for a second is necessary. And then here's where we get into the more difficult levels as far as the speedrun routes. This one, we're going to want this drone to target us as soon as possible, because we want him to target us again right there, and he actually didn't this time, so we have a pretty high risk of dying getting this switch, or getting this switch. But it turns out we were fine. I'll try and show it again just to show what an optimal targeting is like. So he targets you there. I'm probably going to miss it again, actually. No, he targeted me again there, so you want to jump along that slope up to this switch, along that slope over to this switch, and then before he targets again, get up that way. Your movement at the end of the level, you can do a couple different things, actually. I'll show the other one off. So you can do a strat, which is a bit harder. I just messed it up. Where you fall onto that slope that's below you at the right angle, and then from there you can jump across to the other one. That's probably gonna kill me. Okay, no I didn't. So you fall onto that like that and jump over. And then you can also fall down onto that slope below me and jump off of that to the exit. It's just slightly harder. I'm not sure if it's actually faster. Yeah, so like that. That's the other pattern of jumps you can do. They're pretty much the same as far as speed. This level we just do some wall jumps. It's not that hard. It's just you have to be holding down jump a lot. You'll get up to the end. You can also do jumps off the side between these trampolines, which is technically slightly faster if you do it like perfectly. I don't really know the pattern for it, and it's less than half a second faster, so I just do the easy jumps between these blocks. This level is pretty difficult just because you have a bunch of slanted sloped things, or curved things I guess, and they can bounce you around a lot. So you can see I lured that drone there. That's intentional. I want him to be not at the top of the map, because I'm going to be collecting these switches, and I don't want him to get in my way. So, oh, I messed up my jumps really bad. Ideally what you want to do is jump immediately when you hit that, get to this, and then you kind of wait for a second and have him follow you as you're jumping up. And then you jump off of that curved bit there, get up to this one. And then we jump all the way across this gap, which can be a bit tricky. You just have to time your jump right on the slope. And then fall down there, avoid fall damage. And then we're going to jump on these 4 blocks across to the exit. The main thing that's really hard about this level when you're first playing is timing your jumps when you hit these curved parts. Because if you don't time it right, it'll just bounce you off and you'll die. You basically have to hit jump as soon as you hit the block. You have like a few frames. Once you get used to it, it's pretty quick. This level has a couple of routes. I'll show the, I guess, easier one first. What you want to do is fall onto this slope here, and then jump off of it, get the switch, let the rocket go over you, and then wall jump up into that kind of top slope here so the rocket goes under you, and then fall straight down onto this. And that'll bounce you to the exit. There's a slightly faster route as well, which involves falling off of that and then coming right up there. And then you have to jump over that rocket, which is fairly precise. But this route's, I'd say, at least a second or so faster. And it's way cooler. Yeah, that's the other difficult part, is you have to collect that switch for the exit door as you're falling down. Which I missed it again. There we go. Yeah, so that's what you want to do. And ideally you can bounce off of this corner here onto this slope and then bounce off of that corner there. I'll show an IL replay to give you an idea. So like that, and onto that, and then to the exit. That's just like really minor, and you probably will never get it because it's really precise. I never get it, but it's pretty cool. This level is not too difficult, you just have to collect some switches. Fall down onto this slope. And then here you want to hold jump to hover a little bit, so that drone on the left, who's kind of like right here when you're coming up to this area, so he doesn't target you. As long as you're quick enough getting back up here, you should be able to kind of hover on the ceiling and then fall past him as he's going by. You want to kind of err on the side of having him follow you on this row of tiles rather than this second row of tiles below it. I hope you guys can see my mouse. Let me know if you can't, because that would not be good. But yeah, my mouse right now is on like the row of tiles where you don't want him to follow you, and then the row above that, it's okay if he does. Ideally he doesn't target you at all, but it doesn't make a huge difference. And then here, this pattern of wall jumps is interesting. You can just jump up the side if you want to, but if you want to be optimal about your jumps, you want to jump once off of this part that's like right down in this corner here, once off of this bouncy block, and then up here, and then off of this bit, and then off of this bit, and then up there. Okay, you can't see the mouse, that's good. So yeah, you can see I jumped off of the bouncy block, and that gave me an extra wall jump really quickly, which is much faster. So I'll show that one more time. I'll show having the drone target you on the top row of tiles, or I'll try to. So you can just like hover right there, and if you hover too long, he'll target you. I didn't get it that time, because I was fast. But it's not too important either way. And then just press jump really quick 3 times there, and you'll get an extra wall jump. And then get to the exit. Oops. Yeah, we're on this one now. This level has a jump at the beginning that's really, really precise, and I think is worth it. It's like not too hard if you fail, or it's not too much time if you just fail it and reset the level. And it's really quick. So what you want to do is hit that trampoline and then wall jump off of the very bottom of this bouncy block here. And it's precise because you have to do it right when you hit this bouncy block, otherwise you kind of start sliding on it, and for some reason you can't jump whenever you're sliding on it. It's really, I don't know why, it's really weird. But you want to get a jump like that. And I was holding right that entire time, which is actually a mistake. As soon as you get the jump, you stop holding right so that you float up this column of tiles right here and onto the top. If you hold right, then you have what happens to me the first time I did it, which is you bounce off of this corner and it sends you flying over here, which is not good. Up here you want to come up onto this place, lure that drone down, and grab these switches. And then here you want to fall through that switch, and you want to wall jump off of this bouncy block here to stop your fall. And that's really precise too. If you don't want to do that, you can just fall onto this launch pad. You can always fall onto launch pads and they never give you fall damage. So you just bounce off of that, land right above the door, and then go into the door. But ideally, whoops, you just get up here, lure that drone down right away, get the switch on the left and then the one on the right, and then you fall down, and then wall jump there, and go into the exit. That's the fastest route for that level. This level is really, really long. The only thing that really matters though is the beginning part. Or the only thing that's really difficult, I guess, is the beginning part. I'll show the sort of easier route for it that I've been using for a long time. You want to lure that drone there, wait just a second, and then come up this way. And the reason you wait for just a split second down here before you jump up to this area is so that both of these machine gun turrets will target you. If you wait, or if you don't wait at all, then sometimes this guy on the right won't be able to see you, and then he'll shoot you while you're grabbing this switch, which is not good. So yeah, you lure this drone here, jump back up. I didn't wait quite long enough that time, but I got lucky. And I messed up my movement. Okay, that's fine. You want to jump from there to the switch, and then jump back. And you want to wall jump off of that block, up onto this part. And then just hit that launch pad and come over here. So that's that way to do the beginning part. There's also a way which is about a second and a half faster that I found recently. And I'll try and show it off. It's much more difficult. You actually collect this switch first, come down this way, and then you wall jump there onto that bouncy block. And that's hard for a whole bunch of reasons. First you have to fall onto this, wall jump off of it to this part here. You want to jump, you want to bounce your head off of this corner so it boosts you down into this switch. Hold left until you hit this wall jump back, and then go into this part here. And then you want to jump up this side really, really quickly. So you have about like a 2-frame window on each wall jump on this right side to get enough height to land on top of this block here. But if you do all that, it saves a second and a half or so. So it's pretty nice. And if you're consistent with it, then you should definitely do it. But once you do all that, the route is the same. Just come and get these switches. Fall down here, jump to avoid that guy. Fall down there, jump to avoid him. And then we want to come in here right when this drone is at the top of its cycle. So like that. I actually just messed up really bad. I'll explain what I want to do though. So I want to fall down, have this drone follow me on this side here. Or on this like row of tiles, I guess. And then I want to jump kind of under him to get this switch, and then I just exit the level. So I'll show it again with my swag strats, which I just messed up. That's the other thing that makes this risky, is if you're too slow getting into here, then this drone right here will just snipe you as you're coming out. So a whole bunch of things that make this particular version of the route really hard. That time I think I got it. No, my wall jumps weren't good enough. I didn't get on top of that block. And the funny thing is, this route actually wastes time if you don't land on top of this block. If you do like a wall jump on the side of it, then it's actually much slower than the easier route. So yeah, not really worth going for until you get really consistent at it. Okay, so we just fall down here, jump into that guy's field of view, so that he follows you at the top, and then run under him. And then to the exit. Cool. This is another pretty long, pretty difficult level. The thing that makes this one difficult is these drones in the center of this pyramid thing here. You do not want them to follow you outside of the pyramid, and controlling how they follow you is pretty hard because, like I mentioned earlier, it's dependent on like where you are within a certain tile and things like that. So you have to be pretty consistent and pretty precise about your movement, and you have to be able to adapt to them doing different things when you're in this center area. So I'll show the route that I do, or try to anyways. You don't have to hit these trampolines, but it's kind of the easy and consistent way to get in here, and it will give you a pretty consistent timing. That's another thing. If you fall off of this platform here, what I want to do is land on this sloped bit and get to this switch. If you hit the corner of it, you actually just die to fall damage, because it treats the corner like a sort of flat part whenever you hit it at that angle. So that can happen as well. If you want to be safe, you can land on that block. And then what I do is come through there, jump over that guy. That's not ideal for him to follow me to the left. I'm going to run under him. And then they both targeted me there. That's really good. I'm going to wait until there's none in the center, so I could bounce up like that. Basically, you're going to end up on this block here, and you're going to have to hit this trampoline and bounce back up. But you don't want to do that while there are any drones in like this rectangle of area. Otherwise, they'll follow you up here, and then they get a lot in the way for beating the end of the level. Right now I got a good pattern because they're all still in the pyramid. They're not going to follow me out. They're never going to leave it. And this drone is targeting, or this laser drone here is targeting me, which is also, that will happen when you come out the top. That's actually good though. When he does that, you want to jump up and to the left. I was actually too slow there. I'll try and show you what I mean. Basically, you want to be able to get to the switch in the very top left without getting killed by the laser drone. Okay, that's actually an even better pattern. I want this guy to follow me downwards. Now I have to wait a second. Okay, we're good. Okay, so the laser drone was actually already on top of this because I waited a second while I was coming out, so he's not targeting me as I'm coming off of this trampoline. That's fine. What we do is we just jump to that block there and let him target us, and jump to the top left switch, have him target us again, and then we can leave. Something else you can do if you want to be really swag is a double jump off of this bouncy block, like a double wall jump, and then you land on this one. It's not actually that much faster, but it looks really cool. Whoops. So that's another thing that can happen. If you don't get like a good boost off of these trampolines, or if you don't hit them at the right angle, or if you don't like hold your movement keys at the right time, you can hit corners and bounce, which is not good. This should be a fine pattern. Yeah, so that guy following me to the right is good, because I can get out of there. What happens when this drone is targeting is you want to jump up and right, so he targets you at the ceiling right there, and that'll let you get access to the switch. And right now when I jump up to this block here, he's going to start shooting at me, and I won't be able to land on this top part at all. So this is one situation where a double wall jump off of this block is actually a good thing, because you can do that and get to that block and go to the exit without having to wait for this drone to kind of walk across the top. So yeah, that's that level. This level, excuse me, this level has a whole bunch of things you have to learn to deal with as far as these drones targeting you and different cycles and different weird stuff that can happen. But once you practice it, you can kind of get used to the different scenarios. And that leads us into probably the hardest level in the game. These levels in this episode are kind of the hard part of the run, because you have 3 in a row that are really long and really hard. This one's the third one. The route that I'm going to show you is pretty much the same as the IL route, and it's really, really fast. It's about 6 seconds faster than any other route on this level that I know of. But it's also really, really hard. You have to have pretty perfect movement through the entire level, and yeah, basically just because of the cycles on this drone, this laser drone in the bottom right, how he targets you. You can basically skip one of his targeting cycles, and that's what saves you the 6 seconds. Any other route, I don't really know other routes for this level. I don't remember what I used to do on it. If you want to find one that's easier, I guess just play around with it. There are a lot of different ways you can do it, but the one I'm going to show you, I think it's not too difficult. It's kind of worth doing because it's super fast. But yeah. So yeah, first thing you want to do is jump over to this between those bombs, and that jump you have basically 2 frames, and one of them will get you a better jump than the other. If you can work with either. I got the good one this time. Okay, so yeah, that's the route. You have to jump through that laser at the end, and that's kind of what saves you the time. And I guess just to explain what I did, first we do this jump across here, which is pretty precise. You can't jump right as you hit the ground, otherwise that happens. You kind of want to be sliding around this corner. That's the slower jump. and then you fall down from there into this area, jump across to get this switch. This drone will target you through this area right here as you do that. I'll just get there and then pause. I actually was too fast. If you're too fast, he won't target you, and that's really, really bad, because that'll put him in a not good position for you. Whoops. There I was plenty slow, so he targeted me. Okay, so whenever this guy's targeting you, you want to jump up into this kind of sloped part of the ceiling, and then fall down right as the laser goes away. And that timing is hard to get used to, but it's not that bad. And the reason you want to be falling instead of just kind of walking off this edge is you have a bunch of speed, and so you hit this curved part right here, and that'll bounce you to the right, and then you walk off of this edge, and then around the drone, or not like around the drone, but kind of through the drone, and onto this flat part right here. And then from that flat part you just jump all the way across, jump all the way back, jump up this wall. The part that makes this hard is just this first part where you jump from here all the way over, and then jump through this laser as it's disappearing. So yeah, you bounce like that. And I was a bit slow there because I paused the game. I was off. And the reason you have to bounce is because this drone right here is coming up and around, and he'll kill you if you don't kind of bounce over him. So yeah, that was really good. That was really fast. And then the rest of the level, like if you miss any of these jumps in here, then you're actually pretty screwed because the laser will hit you at the end. Because as you're doing these jumps in this area, this drone is coming down, and the fact that he's coming down means he's going to get a line of sight on you, and you need to be like right here when he gets that line of sight, otherwise you just die. So yeah, that's why you have to be fast in here and like efficient with your movement. And then once he targets you here, you just jump through before his targeting laser actually solidifies and kills you, and then come on up to this area. I actually missed the last jump. But yeah, you jump off of this part into the exit. I'll go through it all again one more time. That's something to note right there. What I actually did right there is, I mentioned earlier that these rounded blocks kind of count as sloped blocks. And so you can do a jump along them or normal to them, like perpendicular. And when you do a perpendicular jump, it boosts you kind of away and to the left. If you get that at all on this block here, then you actually cannot make any of the cycles in this area, so you have to reset the level, which is not good. So you want to jump along it like that. You want to be holding right when you do your jump. And then bounce. That was pretty slow, but I'm still fine. You can afford to be a little sloppy with your movement in there, but ideally you want to just be as quick as possible. So yeah, that's this level. This level is, I would say, easily the hardest route in the entire game, because you have to be so precise at the beginning and through pretty much all of the rest of it. But it's super satisfying whenever you actually get it. So the next level is pretty easy in comparison. I'm just going to fall down, jump into the center. You have to grab the switch on the bottom on your way to the right. Whoops, that was slow. You get the idea though? And then here you want to fall down onto the wall jump to the left, land on that trampoline, and then get that switch on your way over. Something that's important about this jump onto this trampoline is if you hit your head at all on the ceiling here, you actually get boosted into the side of the trampoline, which doesn't give you enough height to get the switch. And actually, if you hold left the entire way, you hit this corner right here and die to fall damage. And it's like the stupidest death you can possibly have. So what you want to do is you want to jump from right about here. You want to jump from pretty low on this wall and kind of go over this floor and below this ceiling and land on this trampoline. And then get that switch, and then we get the exit switch, and we leave. We'll go through it again once more. So, whoops. So we jump off of the sloped bit here, and then we jump up here, Jump off of that floor there is actually the efficient way to do that. And then when you jump right here, you can either hit this trampoline or you can do an orthogonal slope jump type of deal up into this corner, which is I think slightly faster. And then we fall down. I actually messed that up. So yeah, if you mess that up on that wall jump, it's actually okay. We can get that switch on the way back, which I will show. So we jump here, jump onto that trampoline, and then just hold right, and you should make it over. And then fall onto that slope and get to the exit. Cool. Now we're on to the last episode, episode 9. This level is pretty quick if you do it efficiently. You want to do a wall jump off of that trampoline boost, and then do a clip through that ceiling, and then fall onto the slope right here, and jump right as you hit that slope, and go to the exit. Yeah, it's pretty precise to do all of those 3 things. Get like this jump, and then this clip, and then this fall. But it's really fast when you do it. It's like a 10-second level. I'll show it one more time. So, wall jump. And then here you wait a second so that thing targets you. If you jump right away into it, it'll actually just kill you. That time I missed the exit switch. I jumped too far. So I'll wait, and then jump, get the exit switch, clip out by tapping jump twice, then land on that slope. Hey Jod. That's that level. Pretty straightforward. This level, if you remember on the second level, we had a trick where we hit one switch and there was another switch under it that we avoided. We do the same thing here. It's another thing where this exit switch to open this door has some switches hidden under it that close doors right here and right here. And if you're precise, you can hit just the exit switch and leave the level really quick. And there's actually a setup for it that I'll try and show. So what you want to do is slide on that wall to about that point right there, and then just hold down jump until you hit the switch, and that'll get it every time. Shoutouts to Sully for finding that, actually. And then we just leave and wall jump up there. The point where you want to start holding jump is when you're sliding down this wall and you hit your bottom feet, the bottom of your feet on like this bulge in this door right here. Just play around with it until you find one that's consistent for you. It's pretty much you have to know the lineup for it. And then you can leave the level really quickly. I'll do it once more. So jump there, do a wall jump over this area, slide down to about right there, and then jump. And you just hold down jump the entire way. If you don't get it first try, sometimes you have to wait for the drones to get out of your way. But yeah, that's that. This level has it has a few routes, I don't know. I'll show the easy one first, I guess, or the consistent one first. We're going to be doing a lot of the ceiling clipping on this level as well. So you just clip through right there, and then walk on that slope. I actually walked a little too far. So we want to get to that switch, jump up here, jump up to this trampoline, hit it at the top, wall jump right like under that rocket, and then come down here. Oh, I missed the switch. Get the exit switch, and then wall jump, and then jump along that slope to boost up into that area, clip out of that, and then jump to the exit. The other way you can do this is a like sort of almost frame perfect wall jump through this ceiling right here. So the wall jumping through ceilings, through the one-way ceilings, works because you have your head on the ceiling, and that's easy if you kind of boost up along this wall and then just float into the ceiling a little bit. That also stops your momentum. So if you wall jump on like the exact frame that your head hits this ceiling and go to the right, you can get a bunch of speed, like maintain the speed from this trampoline, and then wall jump off this wall all the way up. And it's pretty difficult, but I actually got it first try. That's cool. And then what you can do is jump across to this switch here, and then fall down onto that slope there. I actually hit the corner, so I died. That time I was like a frame or two late, because you can see I had a lot less momentum going upwards. Same thing again. Whoops. And that was way too late. If you get the slightly slower version of this wall jump, it's actually okay. As you can see, I can just jump up, and then you kind of have to jump under that rocket, which is a bit difficult. I hit the corner again. As you can see, this is not the route that I normally do. I think it's maybe slightly faster, but I don't know if it's all that worth it. And then if you're early, you completely miss the clip, which is what just happened there. Okay. There we go. That's what you want to do. Land on that slope and not die. And then same route as before. Just boost up into this thing here. I actually messed it up. See if I can get a backup route going. Nope. Whoops. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this route unless you really want to practice it a lot and get consistent. I also don't even know how much faster it is, so... So yeah, like I said, the end of this route is pretty much the same. Although apparently I can't boost at all into that. You get the idea though. Yeah, this route is indeed a pain in the ass, Dino. I just want to show it off for the sake of a tutorial, I guess. Okay, there we go. So you boost off of that slope and then get in there and then clip out. There we go. And I think it's definitely faster if you get like the frame perfect jump off of this through the ceiling and get like a bunch of speed up here and go right up here and get to the exit super quick. Other than that, not really worth it. This level, I guess I'll show the easy route first, or the consistent one. You want to boost up on the left side, have this drone target you there, and then fall down into here, grab that switch, and then leave. The leaving part is a bit difficult, as you can see, because that drone will target you. You can play it really safe if you want to, and kind of go up through that hole slowly and go to the left, and that'll be easier, because the drone will always target you. The laser drone will always target you, and he'll do it in such a way that you can like get out of there like that. That's kind of the safe way to do it. If you want to be risky and fast, you can just walk straight up through that hole, and you can kind of walk through his laser as it targets you, which is definitely faster, but as you saw the first time I tried it, I died, so that can happen as well. The cycles on the drones that are the blue drones are not a huge deal on this map. As long as you're fast, you shouldn't have to worry about them. So yeah, you can do that. That's a bit faster. Walk to the right, and then he will target you, and you can kind of jump over his laser. There's an alternate route on this map as well, which is much faster, but also much more risky. I'll try and show it off, I guess, because it's pretty cool. Basically what it depends on is having this laser here. You want to go up the right side, and this laser drone, he'll target you as you come over the edge, but if you go at a particular like speed and in a particular sort of set of tiles, he'll target you higher, and you can run under his laser and get the switch. And the way that he targets you as you're coming up is really dependent on just like your momentum and stuff, and it's not a dependence which is easy to get a hang of or is really consistent enough to do, but I'll try and show it because it is a bit faster. So like there I got it. He targeted me kind of at the apex of my jump, and now you can see this is much faster. I can go right to the exit. The thing that makes this also harder is my movement there was a bit bad, so now he's going to be like right there when I come up. And as you can see, this is not good because he's going to target me and kill me. So not only do you have to get him to target you at the right point of your jump, like I did right there. I got it again. That's nice. You also have to have good movement to exit the level fast enough. I think I should be able to get it this time. No, actually. So yeah, by good movement I mean like perfect movement. Like you have to get that wall jump out of that switch, and then if I was slightly faster again, I could wall jump up before he targets me and get out. Yeah, this strat is like incredibly risky. I think the IL does it. I'll see if I can show it through that. This is basically it, just done much more quickly. Bouncing off of this corner will save you a few frames, which is what can get you in here quick enough. And then you exit really quick. So yeah, that's like really hard, not worth it. I recommend just going up the left side and doing the route I did when I first showed the level. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Oh, I guess, yeah, this will show the route that I was thinking of a bit better. So yeah, you want to bounce off that corner. I think that's might actually be necessary to get here fast enough. And then you have good movement. You can also do that, I guess. Maybe that's even the route and I forgot it. There's a double jump off of here to get up quickly enough, because this trampoline isn't fast enough. Anyways, last level. This one's not too difficult. It's a bit tricky because these blocks are all curved and that can be annoying. But you pretty much just want to jump off of them and get the switches and exit. That was pretty perfect as far as that route goes. The only thing that's a little bit tricky is, I mentioned like way earlier that whenever you do a jump off of a slope or a curved thing, you can get a lot of height by doing it sort of orthogonal to the slope or the curved bit, and you actually have to do that here. If you just jump off of the top of one of these curved blocks here, like that, well, I guess you do get enough height. If you do it in the wrong angle, like I did just there, like you can see I didn't get enough height, even though I was holding jump the entire time. So the way that you get enough height up here is you kind of have to have the right angle off of the block, like that, and that can be a little bit tricky. And then just, you have to find a consistent jump pattern that avoids these lasers and avoids this turret. The one that I do is not that bad. Yeah, so that works pretty much every time. And it's pretty fast. And then once you beat the level, you'll hit your split right as you hit the door, and that's the end of the run. Yeah, not much else to say about it. I guess if you guys have any questions about my route or whatever, or any like optimizations, then let me know. I'm always happy to answer questions, and always happy to have new runners of this game if any of them get interested in it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, shoutouts to Dinosar and Nightfire Cat. I'll put links to their channels in the description of this highlight, or this video whenever I make it. They're like the only two other people who actually do runs of this game right now, so that's cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it.